Hello everyone, this is Chris with StickerFab. It is 67 degrees right now, high of 83 here in North Fort Myers. Even though it's the end of January, it's not that cold. I wanted to talk about these rear cargo area covers, our topological map designs. You guys have really been pushing for these, and I stayed up late last night to get this one done, and this morning I came in and made sure that a template was good for this side. I have it on the printer. I want to go through a full install of this, so when you guys start receiving this, you have no problems installing it. I'm going to do this side. This side pretty much follows the same exact method, but everyone's going to wind up just a little bit different in their alignment, so I wanted to address that. I wanted to have you guys have a perfect guide to go through this, and we will start with the main panels first. These are a little bit decorative and they offer protection as well over a very large area of the soft plastic in the cargo area. For those that want a little bit more protection, I will do an extended add-on. It'll probably consist of this panel and also a little strip running back there, so you have protection at least to this line going all the way across. Let me know in the comment section if you want to go all the way up to the top right here. We might be able to fill in that area. We might be able to fill in kind of around there, and then the whole panel will look like a topological map. Of course, we'll have a generic topological map. We will have actual Badlands, South Dakota, and we'll have Bronco knoll designs. What's a little bit weird about the Bronco knoll design is that Bronco knoll is a very small area, so we wind up repeating the same pattern a little bit. But Badlands is such a large area that we don't have to repeat anything, and the generic has so many lines in it that we also don't really repeat areas, and you can't really tell that it's a repeated map anywhere, even if it has some overlap. But let me get that print out, I'll finish it up, and then I'll get all the tools around and we'll set up a tripod and go through this install. So if you have a rear cargo mat, you're going to want to position that in a way that you can still reach the bottom of the vinyl. You can see there's a little lip on those, so it'll cover this area up. It'll make it real clean if you do have a floor mat back here. Even if you don't, you'll still get this vinyl to go all the way down to the bottom, and visually it'll be a clean install as well. I have my battery pack hooked up to a small heat gun that we sell in our store for like 12 or 13 bucks. If you guys are running your vehicle, you can hook that up to the AC inverter if you guys do have that as well. I do have a sharp object right here. You can use an X-Acto or whatnot. All these installs are going to be different. So when I made the template, there was a little bit hanging off the end. However, I didn't want to remove it because I wanted this install to go all the way down to the bottom. When we push it into there, I'm just using this plastic tool. I can push it and then it'll basically cut off the extra material. This was just our test piece. Comes out really easily, and then I push all that back down and we have 100% coverage right there. So you can use an X-Acto or whatnot as well. Just be very careful. I do have a felt tip squeegee in my pocket because when we move this material around, it's easier to do it like this than just with the hand. Sometimes you'll use your hand, sometimes you'll want to use that squeegee. When you get up in these corners, you'll probably want to use a squeegee. If you poke your finger through and you have some nails, you could poke a hole in the vinyl, and you don't want to do that. So felt tip squeegee comes in handy. You also want some cleaner around and a microfiber towel. You can see I have a bunch of sand in here. I need to clean all that out. I don't want little specks of it like right here when I was doing my test and I didn't clean this up. I have little specks where that sand is on there. You can also use isopropyl alcohol, clean it out if you're in a very humid and or cold environment, not in the sun. Make sure that isopropyl alcohol is completely dry. When you have very, very humid areas, you'll be surprised that the alcohol actually stays a little wet to the touch for a little bit longer. You'd think it would evaporate just in 1 second, but not the case. Right now, the sun is low in the horizon and it's kind of cool out here, so I'm fine to install it like that. However, if it's really warm and the sun is blazing, you don't want to install this in that sun because the material will become very soft and it'll start to stretch super, super easily, and you'll basically throw the entire template off. When you get to install it in the shade and you have a heat source, you can control the heat and apply heat as necessary in small areas, and that's much easier to do than letting the sun allow the entire vinyl piece to become soft. You also may consider having a second person on hand. I'm going to do this as a one-person install. However, these are very large pieces. If the wind catches it, if the top little flap falls down, you'll have to pull it apart again, and that's adhesive on adhesive. The material is very forgiving, but if you can avoid that situation entirely, I would say go ahead and do that. I don't like doing an install on this textured plastic because while it'll help you align it, you'll wait a while to let it dry out and then push the vinyl down. If you have tons of time, tons of patience, and you don't feel confident installing it dry, you can do a wet install. Just realize that liquid has to dry before the adhesive really activates. Now, when you use wet installs on the outside of the vehicle and you're talking about paint, it's really easy to push all that liquid out and it dries up a little bit faster. That's why we tend to do those kind of installs on the outside. And we're using a different vinyl material here. Since it's easy to work with, I like to do dry installs with it. All right, guys, I'm gonna try to do my best with this install, put you guys in a nice position where you can see everything. So, like I mentioned, clean this area off. Don't use anything that has wax. Definitely don't use Armor All. You can probably see some of the scratches in this cargo area. I don't think I treat this vehicle that rough. However, basically anything that touches this plastic is gonna leave a scuff mark. If you have some insulation fluid, you could spray it and then use that to clean it. I do believe that has a small amount of isopropyl alcohol in it. But trying to get all this sand out, even of the lower cargo area, don't want that to somehow wind up under our vinyl. Now the tricky part. Like I said, I do recommend doing a two-person install because this gets tricky to hold up. What I'm gonna do is make sure there's no breeze. I'm gonna start in one corner. I'm gonna pull this vinyl up. And then I'm gonna tack down this corner in a clean area. Right there. I'm gonna slowly pull this vinyl up. Ooh, didn't tack down enough. All right, so let's do it on the paint. That'll stick better. I'm glad the sun's not that hot because it would definitely stretch this vinyl out. I'm gonna tack the other piece or the other end up here. You guys can't see that, but I'm using the roll bar. I'm gonna pull the backing off slowly, making sure not to crinkle it. It is very forgiving, but it doesn't mean you have to treat it rough. Okay, now I can discard that backing paper. I'm gonna slowly move this down towards the installation area. Let's take it off of there. Let's tack it somewhere closer. Let's get this in the general area. Okay, so this install will have a lot of lifting and repositioning until I get it exactly where I want it. So we know this corner will go right down here, pretty much a straight edge. And this goes into this seam, and it should go straight across. So the same amount of coverage all the way straight across. Let's kind of tack it right there. Make sure this corner goes all the way down. Okay, that's good. So pretty much straight line going right through there. So for anything you know is in the right position, you can tack it down a little bit more. Be gentle. You can just massage this vinyl. I'm going to worry about these little corners at the end. I don't really want to mess with them right now. They may require a little bit of heat. There we go. Use that edge. Push this down. This should be a parallel line running straight across. Be very gentle. Pushing it towards the back now. It will overlap this bin a little bit. How much depends on how you aligned all this material. So we're getting a little crease here. See if we can massage it out. Nope, I think it's gonna be a crease. So we'll lift. Make sure that crease doesn't come back. I'm gonna push all of this at an angle. Here, I'll hold this corner up. If I hold it at an angle, I can push all the air out and make sure the vinyl is stretching properly and not creasing. We'll cut that part off at the end. So now I can come back and worry about some of these corners. With just a little bit of heat, these creases come out really easily with this material. Make sure it's not too hot. Push it into that seam. Be gentle. You can get yourself in trouble when you start pushing this. You can push the material, make creases. So just make small adjustments. Massage those creases out. Get this corner up in here. Heat and pressure. That's how you activate this adhesive. Heat and pressure. Quite simply, the way creases form is that the vinyl really has nowhere to go and it bunches up. So if you heat it up, sometimes it can shrink it, and it can also allow you to kind of spread it out, and then it doesn't crease. so this corner is the most difficult part. It's really not that bad, the little heat. You could probably get away with using a hairdryer as well. This thing is only 300 watts, which is not that much. It just heats everything up a lot quicker than a hairdryer, so you won't have to hold the heat there that long. That right there is the toughest crease, so I'll massage it a little bit. There we go. Lift, heat and push. There we go. Lift, heat, and push. You can see it coming up, push it back down. That felt tip squeegee. There we go, we have that corner. Everything is nice and done. Push down on the bottom as much as possible. And then for this excess material here, I'm gonna dig this sharp tool way down in there. And actually, it looks like it's kind of pushing into there with no problems. So I'm just gonna let it go under the floor mat. Get it to unstick to the corners there. Push back on that panel and just push it down. That works too. Just push it down until you can't see it anymore. Make sure that's not messing up your install on the edges. There, we pretty much have it. Let me pull the camera out, rearrange some stuff in this cargo area, give you guys a nice look at what we have. This is the main portion of the topological map cargo overlays. All right, so sorry for all the stuff in this Bronco. It is my daily driver. Came right from the gym, got up, went there 5:30 to 6:30, hung around for about 30 minutes, and then headed into work to finish this off. I love the way it looks. I really wish I could get done with more of these templates a lot quicker, but you guys are ordering so much stuff that I also have to print all this stuff out so that my fulfillment team can get it out to you. But thanks for all your support. Please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already, and hit that bell notification icon for the latest and greatest things we are coming out with for the 2021 and up Ford Bronco.